All right, boys, we are live. We are back. It's been quite a while, I think 3 weeks, which has mostly been my fault. I'll take ownership of it. Uh, Me and Markello have been working, mostly me during the week and then Markello on the weekend. But we are back and we're one day away from the draft.
In time for the draft to get a final mock out.
Yeah. And we are doing this at 8 a.m. Disclaimer.
Squeezing it in when we can.
Yeah. Figuring it out. All right. Not really much has happened, right? Since we covered all the trade ups and everything. Obviously,
Sam Darnold trade. I think that was the last time we did. I think Sam Darnold got traded right after we did our last episode.
Oh,
So
after
Ryan
we
was-
did it or before?
I think we did our last episode, and then right after that, like a day or something, that's when Darnold got traded.
Okay. It's something kind of we expected. I mean, we were mocking the Jets to take a quarterback since 1.0, so it wasn't really a surprise. Glad it happened. I don't really want to talk about it. We talked about it like for weeks leading up to everything. I'm actually rooting for him. I hope he actually does well. Like I don't hate Sam Darnold. I just didn't want him.
I think it'll be good for him. It's a new system, some
Yeah.
familiar faces, and Robbie Anderson over there, so it could be good for him.
Yeah, Joe Brady's a good coach. It's the best offense he's ever been in. Not even close.
Mhm.
So.
That's a fact. That is definitely a fact. So could be a good future for you Carolina Panthers fans. Look out for that.
But now I think it changes their draft board. I don't think they take a quarterback this year.
No,
I still see some people like mocking them.
The line now for sure. I think it's a lock at offensive line at that pick, unless they trade back.
Yeah,
I did a mock draft yesterday. I actually had them trading back to New England.
It's either them or it's like the Lions for me that are getting out of the top 10. It's those two teams.
I think it's gonna be,
or maybe even Denver.
Maybe even the Dolphins if they're crazy. Dude, the Dolphins, 110%, unless it would be like New England calling them, because you're not going to give Justin Fields to your division.
It's not even that. I don't even see the Dolphins trading back now because they already went out of their way to move up from 12 to 6.
You guys heard the Justin Fields character issues thing going around?
Dude, I don't know why everybody hates Justin Fields.
I'm still willing to take him at 2. Like if it's a surprise tomorrow, I'm gonna be happy. I'm like Wilson, but like I'm like 51-49. I'm really close. I don't know why San Francisco doesn't take Mac Jones. I have no idea why. But
Ryan, you swayed me with that tweet you sent me the other day, that little minute thing about Zach Wilson's journey, bro.
Yeah, I mean, you guys know I've been on Wilson since like super early, before like the hype was even there. But like I still really like Fields. I have no idea why San Francisco is making it like super complicated. Why is he not even in the equation? Why is it down to Mac Jones and Trey Lance? I don't know.
And don't
it doesn't make sense to me either. I don't know.
Trey Lance.
I like Trey Lance. I'm just saying, like,
I like Trey Lance too. There was a period of time where I liked Trey Lance more than Justin Fields, but then just as time goes on, like when you watch the film and watch all the games, you're like, wow, like Justin Fields has played all these years, right? He took no breaks from football, right? There was no gap year. There was none of that. And the competition not only was greater, but he played in those big games that you want. And being realistic, San Francisco is not going to keep Jimmy G. Like he's probably not going to be there by week 1. So why would you take whatever, like a 20-year-old quarterback who hasn't played in over a year, put him in your division of all divisions, one of the best divisions in football, and trust for him to get you to the playoffs, regardless of how good your roster is. So yeah. I don't see why.
Did you see Kyle Shanahan's comment about Jimmy Garoppolo? He was like, yeah.
I forgot too. George Kittle commented something on Twitter about it. He said something.
That was just like he went to the extreme. He was like, yeah, I don't even know if I'm going to be alive on Sunday. But
yeah, bro, I'm telling you, he hit the juke move on that. He was like, all right, I heard that question. I'm just going to hit a spin move and make my way to the end zone.
Caleb Farley can't catch a break. He's not going to be at the draft because he tested positive for COVID.
Yeah, I think he's in the fallout of round 1, honestly.
There's no shot the Saints pass up on him.
I will almost guarantee he falls out of the first round.
If Loomis passes up on him, I don't think that's something I could ever forgive.
Here's the thing, like there's a player every year that falls, right? Everyone's like we know it's gonna happen, right? Some player who gets mocked all year in round 1 always falls. Like, and you guys read the Farley's like possibly like his injury, like he might not actually like they're not sure if he can play like 17 games a year with his back.
I saw something that like he still has problems sometimes like feeling his big toe.
Yeah.
Up till this point, I saw that, but I also saw that that's normal for the procedure that he had.
So I don't know. I think he's off some draft boards.
Not 100%.
Like he's not going to be on all 32.
That's crazy.
All right. So the first pick in the draft, as we know forever, Mac Jones.
The first two are kind of a lock at this point.
Yeah.
I almost want to lock in Mac Jones at 3, but there still is a possibility they go Trey Lance. But the reports that have been coming out is that Kyle Shanahan's higher on Mac Jones than the rest of like the scouting department and front office because they like Trey Lance more. But at the end of the day, they're not going to give Kyle Shanahan the guy that they like more. They're going to give Kyle Shanahan the guy that he likes more and the guy that he wants to work with.
Yeah, I just don't know if I would trust Kyle Shanahan evaluating quarterbacks when he passed on Mahomes and Deshaun Watson, and then he wanted Kirk Cousins.
Well, they have no choice. He runs the show there. Yeah. They're going to give him who he wants for his offense. If he wants Mac Jones, best believe that's going to be the pick.
Chris probably going to be Mac Jones. Talking him up too, Mac Jones, and that's like him and Shanahan are boys. I think I'm going Mac Jones here too.
Yeah.
I'm almost just like the thing is like, and this is like a disclaimer. I do think whoever gets drafted to San Francisco, assuming they start, is going to be like the best rookie, only because like San Fran have a good team, assuming everyone stays healthy. Like they'll be number 1 or 2 in terms of like the rookie quarterbacks.
It'll definitely be the best situation because everything's going to be ready for him.
I just don't know like how you pass. Even if they took Lance, I would be like, I would accept that. Like maybe keep Garoppolo for a year or half a year until he gets injured, and then throw Lance in. But I mean, I would take Fields personally. I wouldn't even think about this pick. I would just like
I
send it in.
I agree with you.
The Atlanta Falcons. What do you guys think happens?
Well, now that they're taking calls on Julio Jones,
they can't trade him though until after June.
Yeah, no, I get that, but now it gives me even more of a reason to give them Kyle Pitts because they're going to need, like another weapon. Calvin Ridley could fill in the wide receiver 1 hole, but you're still going to need someone else to throw the ball to.
Peter, I think I'm going to go Pitts here too.
Yeah, I'm with Pitts. I feel like everybody's mocking Pitts to 4 now, and I saw a thing yesterday. He was on ESPN, I think, and he was talking to somebody, and then he was like, yeah, I think the first 4 picks are all going to be quarterbacks because there's so many good ones in this class. And I was like, wait, what? Why would you not consider yourself to go to 4?
We did say like Atlanta, right? I always thought they were going to go Lance, and he ended up falling here. But like, it seems to me like they're kind of embracing the win now mode. Like I know that there's talk about Julio being traded, but I just think they're going to go in for 1 more year.
Yeah, it's just impossible to get out from under Matt Ryan's dead money. It wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, they guaranteed a couple weeks ago, they guaranteed his next year's salary. So it seems like they're going a little bit of a window. So have you guys changed your stance on the Bengals? Because you guys know
I actually have.
I'm Jamar Chase on this pick all the way.
I officially switched to Jamar Chase. For the past few months, I've been saying it has to be Sewell. I've switched to Jamar just based off of reports. It's not what I think they should do. I think they should go Sewell. But I see the way for Jamar.
In this pick, you have to prioritize offensive line in the early second round if you're doing this.
That's what they're going to do. And doing mock drafts over and over.
It's a deep class.
Yeah, doing mock drafts over and over, taking a wide receiver, Jamar Chase at 5, there's still a lot of tackles that I like in the beginning of the second round. But when I take Sewell at 5, I'm not that thrilled with the wide receivers for like the drop off. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I seen a report yesterday that they're trying to stick it to AJ Green. Why would you do that? I know he had a bad year last year, but he was great for the franchise.
AJ Green.
What does that even mean? You should be trying to help Joe Burrow. Why are you worrying about AJ Green in this point? I hope that's not true. I hope that's just like smoke coming out. But either way, yeah, Jamar Chase is a phenomenal pick. He will be a great player. The Dolphins, right? This is probably one of the 2 players they traded up for. So this is kind of awkward now that they came up to get Pitts or Chase and not on the board. I think they're going to go Waddle in this situation. I think Waddle goes to for Smith in the draft too.
I think if this happens, they do think about Sewell though, because I saw that they were still high on him. But yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't. They traded up for a weapon, and they already have the 18th pick, and that one's probably going to be offensive line. And I think they'd rather lock up Waddle now and offensive line out here.
I mean, that'd be crazy, Markel. It's possible because these have to be the 2 players they're targeting in their mind when they made this trade.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it didn't break their way. Did you guys see, like, after the trading Eric Flowers yesterday, they lost, like, every single big free agent signing they made last year? So,
Eric Flowers
between last year's free agency, like, between their spending last year in free agency and their draft picks, it's not been a great, like, year for Miami, outside of, like, Brian Flores doing great things. But I'm gonna vote Waddle.
You can tell me Jalen Waddle goes here.
I won't be surprised if it's Sewell, but I'll mock Waddle.
All right, now I really need either a trade to happen at this pick or the next pick, because there's two guys you can really realistically trade up for at this point. Two different teams.
Marcus, we forced the trade, or is that PFF? I forgot if we did it. So what team do you want trading to?
Well, the obvious one you can go ahead and say is New England trading up for Fields, or
let's hope that doesn't happen.
Or I can convince you that the Chargers could trade up here and take Sewell.
I think probably Bill Belichick might be a little bit more aggressive to get the quarterback.
He could be, because he has the picks and he has the players that he signed in free agency. But like,
do you think he trades up to 7 or 8? Though is the question.
That's the problem. We just don't know.
I don't see. The thing is, like, I know why it makes sense. I even said, like, after the free agency preview, the Patriots moves don't make sense unless they get a rookie quarterback. I just don't think they'll panic, like, especially if Lance and Fields are there at 7. I don't think they'll make the move until one of them is gone, and then they'll make the jump. Because Bill Belichick never trades up, and this is 8. Like, this is, if you're trading into 7, like, I know it's not like a huge investment, but 7's still like a pretty valuable pick to trade up to. I think
if anything, it'll be pick 8 to Carolina. One more pick. It's not going to be as much capital, even though it's just a 1 pick difference. And you're jumping the Broncos, who could take one of the quarterbacks if you have a preference of Field or Lance.
Do you guys why wouldn't Denver just jump up 2 spots to ensure they get their guy?
I don't think Denver's taking
a quarterback.
I think in this situation they could, especially if Fields or Lance makes it to 7. They could be like, all right.
I think they just want a QB, though. I don't think they're really picky in who they want. Like, I haven't heard anything about Denver, like, really locking into one guy. They should take
Fields, and they can make the playoffs easily this year.
I don't think he wants a quarterback at pick 9.
All right, so you guys pick who you want to trade the pick to. Because Detroit do seem like a prime candidate team to trade down, just everything going on with them. So,
look, if you guys are saying New England doesn't trade, I don't see why the Chargers wouldn't move up to get, the best tackle in the class.
All right, I like that. The chart, line.
They jumped the Panthers, who were probably also going to go tackle.
I actually agree with that. I actually thought Slater was going to be the first tackle taken, but in this scenario, I think it'll be.
You got both on the board.
What team is it? The Lions?
Yeah, Detroit, right under Carolina.
All right, so.
And what would this even look like? It would be like 13.
47 and like the 4th. And just give us back. Give us back 6.
7 and the 6th. Jeez. Yeah.
How do I even trade?
I don't think you added pick 7.
Oh, it has to be equal?
No. I don't think you added like the first round pick on their side.
Oh,
yeah. Does it have to be equal? I don't think so.
Well, there's no like forced trade, unfortunately, like PFF.
Damn, that's rough.
Just press a bunch of picks then, if anything.
All right, we're just gonna make up the picks. Screw it.
Do you have to give more on? I don't understand what's going on.
I don't know. We're just trading draft. Look, the bar moved a little bit. We're playing like Madden over here, trying to figure it out. All right, it's
trading draft for draft.
All right, I think we just draft at this point because.
Yeah, we're just drafting the draft. So I actually think we'll just just remember in our head that the Lions traded down. I do think they're going to take Devontae Smith, but I don't think it's going to get 7th overall. I think they're going to get him in like the teens.
If the Giants don't take him at 11, because I think we're going between him or Micah Parsons.
I think you're going to be not too happy on draft day then when you take an edge rusher.
No, I mean, look, we need an edge rusher, so I don't mind it. But it's like we also need a linebacker. We also need a wide receiver.
All right.
I don't need offensive line.
Yeah, just disclaimer, I don't think Devontae Smith goes in the top 10. Like, I know we're doing it here only because we can't trade, apparently. The Panthers, I think they're going Slater here.
Well, I mean, Sewell's on the board.
I think Slater goes before him.
Really?
Yep.
I don't know, man. I think Sewell's my number one guy.
I think if Sewell's there at 8, that they would take Sewell straight down.
You guys have voted me. We'll see. We're going to see tomorrow.
Look, bro, Slater's a freak, but Sewell is just like a different breed at that position.
So Denver, at this point, I'm I'm pounding the table for Fields.
Yeah, you're taking Justin Fields and you're making the playoffs and you're happy about it because that's literally, I think, all they need is a quarterback.
I mean, who else? They could take a corner, even though they did invest pretty heavily.
They kind of went crazy in free agency on corner, though, so I don't really think you need to reinvest in that.
I guess they could trade down. There's some good value here. They're a pretty stacked roster if they're not going to go quarterback. But like Fields and Lance fell to you, I think I'm taking Fields.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling like even though we can't do trade ups in this, like 3 quarterbacks will be gone by 7 at least. I know it might not be as much as we first predicted. Like, oh no, we already have 3, 4.
7 through 9, there's going to be a team in the teens that trades up for a quarterback.
Peter, Fields or Lance for you?
Fields.
Yeah, it has to be Fields. Like I love Lance, but
apparently Fields is going to fall or on draft day to like the teens. I mean,
that's what it's saying because apparently he has some kind of character concern. I don't know what's the issue with the guy, but
I don't believe that at all.
Yeah, I think it's all cap.
I've said it before in like a previous video. I think we like people really are just looking like at way too much like flaws at Justin Fields. I don't know why he's definitely been the most scrutinized quarterback out of like.
It's like Lamar Jackson, like back in 2018, lost quarterback taken.
All right,
Justin Fields' fall off was just weird because he was like consensus QB2 of this draft for like a whole last year, and now he's dropping like this for no reason. He hasn't even played any football since.
Yeah, and like especially because he actually did fall to like 3 during the season at the very end, but then he put up like a 6 touchdown performance against Clemson, and then I don't know why after that started going back down. Even his Bama game wasn't even bad. It just like Ohio State.
You would think that it would go up after those playoff games.
Yeah, he was hurt against Alabama, and Ohio State's team compared to Alabama was like Alabama would have slaughtered mostly any team. Like look who they had on their team. So
I'm pretty sure you could put like Alabama against the worst team in the NFL, and they would probably beat them. No bullshit at that point.
The Cowboys, I think this is another I think it's going to be Surtain or Horn. Like it's either one of them.
I think it's going to be Surtain. Yeah, he fits.
I like Horn more. I really like Horn.
I like Horn too.
I like Horn.
Either way, we're all expecting a corner on draft day.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Surtain fits their system perfectly though on defense.
One of the most wild card teams in the NFL draft, Dave Gettleman's New York Giants. Markello, I guess you can pick. Would you consider Lance here if this happens? Like I know it's not.
God, dude! I would send the card in a heartbeat if Trey Lance. They're not going to take it. I don't even care if you would have to sit for a year. I think we let Daniel Jones do his thing.
It's impossible though.
And then ship him out the door, along with Dave Gettleman at the end of the year, and let this guy.
It would make sense, but Gettleman's not going to replace.
No, I know it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. But
I'm saying what I would personally do. But
I think here he would actually pick Parsons, believe it or not.
Really?
At this point, it would either be
like about the character concerns, like of him falling in the draft a bit.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. I don't want to take him. I think he's a weirdo.
A weirdo? I don't know. Like,
I think he's been overrated. I said that since the start. He wasn't never my linebacker 1, and nothing to do with like him off the field. He's just super fast, super explosive, but like he's not really great at anything. He's just like
that's a Gettleman guy, no?
I don't know.
The Gettleman kind of linebacker. I don't know. I think
I never know what the Giants are going to do, right? Because everyone mocks who's like last year. Everyone mocked like Tristan Wirfs, right, and Dedrick Wilson, and then they took.
We were getting Wills.
Yeah, they took Andrew Thomas. This year, I've seen everyone's been mocking Devontae Smith or like Kwity Paye. So I have a feeling it's not going to be either one of those two, and he'll just throw in like a wild card.
No, I think Mike is.
So
I don't think he's a bad linebacker.
Right. Scroll down a little bit. Who's on the board? Let's see.
What position? Parsons.
All right, so you could. All right, the only 2 positions that you could probably convince me on that we're going is probably J.C. Horn or Micah Parsons.
I would take Phillips if he's actually healthy. If you're going to take an edge,
Phillips is going to fall in the draft. He's not going to go.
He's like one concussion away from not playing football ever again.
I would take him at 23 and be happy.
But taking him in the 20s is much less risk than taking him at the 11th pick in the draft.
I don't care. I would take him either way.
Yeah, there's probably
better than any other edge rusher in this draft class.
I think Gettleman would be drooling over Parsons right now.
Yeah,
he gets his hog molly in the middle of the defense.
I agree.
You can use him sometimes as a pass rusher too.
No, he's horrible at pass rushing, bro.
That's what he does.
Yeah,
that's what he does.
The Eagles, I think it's going to be Horn.
At this point, it has to be.
Yeah, I think everybody in the world is mocking
you
that.
can tell me that they're going to get Trey Lance and put some competition behind.
No, they won't.
Honestly, I think they think about it. How are they saying that now? Jalen Hurts, it's a competition, QB competition.
Maybe they're just saying that's going to get teams to trade up.
They have Joe Flacco.
I don't understand what their goal is or what they're trying to do.
They're not trying to do much this year. They're just trying to put together a foundation and see if Hurts can be the long-term quarterback.
But I don't know. They're not setting him up to win, and then they're expecting him to win.
That's what happens with a lot of the young quarterbacks in the league, unfortunately. The Chargers, well, in this scenario, Slater fell to them. They didn't have to move up.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
But I do think they are a team that could definitely trade into, like what we said, 7 or even 8.
The only problem is it's like the Lions and the Panthers aren't both going to trade down. It'll only be one team.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
It'll be interesting to see because if one of the teams like New England is going up for a quarterback, they're going to outbid the Chargers. And the Chargers, they're going to say it's not worth it to give up this much when there's still going to be a lineman for us and a few picks.
In my latest mock draft, which we can't do here because of trades, I had the Bears moving all the way up to 8, I think, taking a quarterback and just saying screw it for Ryan Pace and Nagy.
In the mock I did yesterday, I actually had a Washington football team trading up here to 14 to take Lance just because Lance made it to 14 for me.
So do you want to do the same thing hypothetically? We'll just put Lance at 20 or whatever Washington's picking.
19. That's up to you guys. That's if you think it's realistic, if that's something that could happen. I can't justify Trey Lance just naturally falling in New England's lap at 15.
Yeah, I mean, especially if teams know the Patriots are going to be interested in the quarterback, they could definitely get jumped.
And considering it's the last, kind of elite prospected quarterback.
The only problem with that is who we're going to pick for the Vikings at 19.
I had them taking.
It becomes very weird.
Yeah, it becomes kind of weird.
We don't have to. I'm just saying that's how I did my mock. We could just pick it as, and then 15 would obviously be Trey Lance.
I think this is Elijah Barrett-Tucker.
You've been saying that for a while. I think it might be Darisaw.
I had Kwity Paye falling to them actually at 19.
Man.
Kwity Paye? They could take Kwity Paye here too. See, the thing is, Barrett-Tucker would be a great pick for them. The Vikings are another team that usually just don't do what the board, what they probably should do on the board. And I don't know, 14's kind of high for a guard. I think they could actually move down and probably get him at 18 or 19.
Yeah, they could use an offensive lineman too. I just based on how that team is run.
Yeah.
And Zimmerman and everything, he's going to want his.
I think he's
defensive guy.
Especially because Hunter didn't play last year. Now they don't know if he's if he wants to be there.
Yeah, with that trade request thing that happened, whatever, a month or two ago.
Yeah, you could tell me Paye goes here.
And Paye's a sick athlete who definitely has a ton of upside. He's
not for nothing to be at pick 14. This will never happen again like the NFL draft. To get the first edge rusher off the board at pick 14 is a miracle. Edge rushers go top 10, at least the first one off the board every year.
All right, the Patriots.
Just based on how the board fell and no trade ups
that they get, but Belichick wins again.
Do you think they actually get one of the top we got to call them the top 5 quarterbacks now because we know the top 3 picks in the draft are quarterbacks. Everyone knows. And then we do think that the 4th one will be taken anywhere between 7 to 9. But do you think we'll call him the 5th, whoever it's probably going to be Fields in my opinion, for whatever reason on draft night. Is the 5th quarterback taken? Do you think he makes it a 15? No. I have a feeling that they're going to be done within 12 or 13.
I think the latest they go is 12, and someone probably bangs Philadelphia's line. And it's yo, let me get in there and
somebody will trade up if anything, whether it's Chicago, Washington.
Yeah. There's no way
you're gonna see this big blockbuster trade from the Bears who are super desperate for Pace and Nagy. I know it's coming. It's gonna be something crazy, going back from 20 to 10.
Probably.
The Cardinals, pretty interesting team. In this situation, right? I mocked them corners in the past, and Jalen Waddle, but he doesn't fall in this scenario. because we always know teams always get like crazy with players who run super fast. So like Waddle, I think going in the top, he's not making it to 16 at least. Top 12, I think he's gonna make it top. Well, we put him at 6. I think he's gonna be a top 10 pick no matter what happens with Waddle.
You guys like Darisaw here?
I think they have to think Darisaw or Vera Tucker. I know you guys aren't going to agree with me.
Kyler Murray's getting hurt way too often. Tevin Jenkins even too. You could tell me.
They took like Najee Harris here. Like I could definitely see the Cardinals doing something crazy.
Didn't like Peter Schrager mock them, Najee Harris at 16? I think it was Schrager, somebody. If I'm Arizona, and Cons, I know you guys aren't going to agree. I'm taking Caleb Farley here, but I know you guys don't agree with that.
I don't think he's. I'm not going to mock him in the first round. So unless maybe I'll put him in at the very end, but I'm not here. Not with what's going on with him.
That's fine. You could overrule me.
I mean, I'll vote for Barrett Tucker here, right? Because like, even though Darisaw, like, it's just because they paid Humphreys a lot of money to play left tackle. So unless they're putting Darisaw right tackle, which they could.
Yeah, you couldn't convince me only because I remember last year they were actually getting mocked Tristan Wirfs for a while, and Wirfs plays guard, right? Or was he playing tackle? Well, he played guard.
He was playing tackle, but people thought he was going to play guard, but then he showed out.
Yeah, you could probably convince me on that.
And that's who the Cardinals should have taken, or at least one of the offensive linemen.
Or Isaiah Simmons, for sure.
But I mean, if they took Darisaw, that'd be great. Darisaw's a really good player. I don't think in normal drafts he would be here.
Nah.
But I know that the Cardinals struggled like in the interior last year a lot. Oh God, the Raiders on the board. One of my favorite teams on draft night. Just never know what they're gonna do.
Hear me out.
Like Darisaw could be the pick here, and this one.
No, because that makes sense. They wouldn't do that.
Makes sense. Like,
you gotta go to the offensive tackle. You gotta go to that. All right.
Jenkins would be another great pick.
I'm gonna say they go Samuel Cosme here. Either that or Leatherwood. It's gonna be some off the wall. Like
you guys 100% think they're going tackle.
I like Leatherwood, but this is a bit early.
I think they'll go tackle for sure.
I think
either that or edge.
No, I honestly I think that this is a perfect spot for JOK.
Gregory Rousseau.
This is something.
This is it, Gregory Rousseau.
You could tell me this is a Greg Rousseau as well. Honestly, I wouldn't.
No, they're gonna take away. They're gonna be. I know it. Some team. I told you guys like on our last draft, he's gonna go in the top 20.
The thing is with the Raiders, they could go any position and it would be a good pick because they suck at every position.
They should take Newsome here, honestly. I know they took Arnett last year and it was a failure, obviously, but like, yeah, the Raiders. So who do you guys want to pick?
My preference personally would be JOK.
But who do you think they're gonna pick? Like, just give me like a wild card name and we'll just put them in.
Because you can't tell me that because last year they took Darryl Arnett in the first round.
What about Aziz? You guys think Aziz here?
I don't think they go edge rusher with pick 17. If it's not honestly going to be a linebacker and Parsons is not here in this scenario, I think it has to be.
Why would they go like
for the whole
linebacker instead of an edge when they don't have a pass rush?
Well, because they invested in that position.
The only pass rush is Max Crosby, bro. Like,
but they invested in the position. How you're going to keep throwing?
Like, who do they invest in? Yannick.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they just invested Yannick, but then you only
I know Max Crosby isn't a star, but in Mayock's eyes and in Gruden's eyes, they're like, yes, we have a top 5 pass rusher, Max Crosby.
But at least Aziz, you can put him up, you could stand him up as a linebacker and have that going. But
I just feel like
so you can really stand up as like an outside linebacker and.
I don't think they're going to take JOK.
Like, yeah, me either. I think it's
a good player. I would take him, but I don't know. I don't even know what to put for the Raiders because like I want to put someone like that's going to make a big difference, but I just know they're going to do something like.
They have a hole everywhere though. They need a pass rush. They need help in the middle of the defense. Again, they invested in their secondary and corner and in safety, yet they still need a corner and safety. Yeah. And they need a new offensive line.
I don't think there's any safeties worth taking here, though.
No.
Corner,
I don't have a safety going in the first round.
Corner, you can convince me. Edge, you can convince me, and tackle. It's the only 3.
I'm gonna vote for away.
I don't know.
Away.
I don't say. I think is Darisaw still there? Right, Darisaw's there.
Yeah, I think
the safe pick. Yes, that would be the safe pick.
They've also
don't think that they'd make it.
Right? There must have been a plan. We'll just give him Darisaw. It's probably not going to happen on draft day, but the Dolphins. I don't. Who do
we? Has to be lineman.
We gave them.
Has to be another lineman.
Jalen Waddle, yeah. Yeah, this has to be a lineman. Either that or JOK.
No, I think they need to invest now in a tackle.
Will they go any of the interior or thinking tackle?
You can convince me Tevin Jenkins here, but
I think they need a tackle now. Yeah, like in my mock, I think Veritaka still on the board for them, or maybe
one of them.
Yeah, it was Versar or Derisar or Veritaka, but they both obviously just went. So I think it's 3 linemen in a row, and Tevin Jenkins is just by far the best on the board.
Yeah, I agree with that, and that's what they should do. I think they're going to take an edge though tomorrow. I do.
With 18, and then just take tackle top of the second.
Yeah. Because the Dolphins,
they're not locked in to take.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be funny. The Dolphins, to me, the last year and a half, like outside of Flores being a good coach and like obviously getting better from where the expected 0-16 team, like they just don't draft well.
Yeah,
like, honestly, I'm leaning. If you're telling me you want to take edge, I'd lean Jalen Phillips here.
But this would be a great pick for them, assuming he's healthy. Like he would make a huge difference.
Because you want somebody on the edge who could do everything and run, a Flores kind of defense.
Yeah, I'll take Phillips. He's from Miami too, which is funny. Like the school he played for. So. Where do you think Phillips actually goes on draft day, though? Do you think he goes this high? Like based on talent,
I think. So. I think on talent, I think he's going to fall in the 20s.
Yeah, I had him going to the Colts 21.
Yeah, I would not be mad at any team like at this point after 15 if you want to take the risk on Phillips because I think he's by far the best pass rusher in the draft. So, Washington football team. So in this case, they don't get a quarterback. I think they're just gonna go best player available at this point.
JOK.
Yeah, JOK makes sense to me. But I told you guys he's getting first round buzz is the Jamin Davis guy, the linebacker. I seen him getting first round buzz now after our 2.0. I was almost ready to lock him there. But the Washington football team are one of those like teams that are interested in him. So, but they could probably trade down a few spots and get him at like 25 or something.
But who would trade up at this point? Maybe anyone that's believing Caleb Farley.
No.
I think the only time somebody would trade up in this scenario is
Tevin Jenkins is worth trading up for. I would trade up if I was the Jets to get him if we needed to.
Well, Douglas has the picks to make a move.
But we're going to assume that because like we can't trade in this thing.
Eileen JOK. This roster's pretty filled out on both sides of the football except for really linebacker. That's the most glaring need, and you have a great talent still on the board at 19.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he is the best like linebacker, whatever you want to call him in the draft. He's just super good in coverage too.
This is going to be Tevin Jenkins right here for me.
Tevin Jenkins?
Yeah, I agree with
He's got to be. Like, he's fell so far.
Yeah, falling to 20 is not that it's super crazy, but
it shouldn't happen based on talent.
It shouldn't, yeah.
That'd be a great pick for the Bears. They definitely need, besides quarterback, they definitely need offensive line.
This is bad for Ballard, I think.
I would take Newsom here, but I know they invested kind of a lot in the corners, or secondary in recent drafts. He'll definitely trade down if this happens, I think.
Yeah, because really, if you're Ballard, you want an edge rusher, and you're hoping that Jalen Phillips, the best one in the class, is there, right?
Yeah.
At 21, or a tackle. But in this mock, we have how many tackles already off the board in the top 20 picks. And if you're in pick 21, you don't want to take whatever the 6th best tackle, right?
Ballard will not reach. He'll just take best player available or move
down.
We'll
go to the edge and see what's going on with the edge right now.
They could take Aziz. They're not going to take Rousseau, I don't believe.
Nah. You couldn't even convince me on a way here.
They might go for the upside. Like the athletic.
Yeah, the guy's like a freakish athlete, bro. He's huge.
Honestly, I'd go away. I just think he's the best player on the board.
I would go away as well. I think he has like you said, the most upside.
You think he's the best player on the board for edge?
Right, that's left right now.
I thought you guys liked Aziz a lot.
I like Aziz, but his pro day really sunk him for me.
My thing is too, it's just Oweh's problem was not like anything that he was doing. It was just the system that they were running. Like he just couldn't get to the court. Like the production wasn't there. But in college football, especially for that position, like you don't really need to depend on sacks to be the outlying factor, right?
F up the play stat. It's the only thing that matters.
I think he could be better in the run game than Aziz can. And when you're in a division with Derrick Henry, who's, the Titans are picking right now, I'd want somebody who's just a bigger edge presence.
That makes sense. The Tennessee Titans, this is where I could see Farley going. They've taken like Jeffrey Simmons. They don't really, not they don't care, but like they trust, I guess, their medical team, and if their doctors feel good about it, like they definitely need a corner. I definitely think they could go wide receiver though here too. After losing,
I had Bateman, but with Farley falling at this point, you kind of can't ignore that, especially because I don't think they have a single corner like on the roster right now.
I mean, they did take like Fulton in round 2 last year.
Oh,
and, they signed Norris Jenkins.
I mean, look, at 22, if you're telling me I can get who would have probably been the best corner in the draft and is only getting derailed because of like rumors, I guess you could say, like we don't really know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I would sign myself up for that.
I'm going to vote Bateman. So Peter, you can be the deciding factor.
I like Bateman as well.
I have a bias. I have a bias. I want you guys, when it comes to Caleb Farley, I still like the medical doesn't scare me as much as it does for everybody else. I think that's worth the risk. Like I still have him as cornerback 1. Like I take him if I'm Dallas, right? I know they're not going to because there's no reason to risk it when you have Horn and Surtain there.
Yeah.
Like just comparing medicals, but from pick 16 on, so where Arizona's picking, if I'm any one of those teams, I'm taking Farley. So like all those picks we just made, my first choice would have been Farley for all of those teams.
Even if the Saints wanted to trade up to 21, if the Colts they don't want to take away,
I'd be okay with it.
Me. Yeah, you could have told me like they're trading up for Farley right then and there.
So my vote from pick 16 and on, and my vote is for Farley. So it's up to you guys if you're comfortable, if you see it's realistic to happen or not.
Look, I think it makes sense. I think you just like, all right, look, but then again, you got to think the Titans have really been screwed on their draft luck in the first round. Isaiah Wilson, now you're gonna take this guy and like
that's scouting department's
the wrong way, and it's
more like character concerns though than anything.
Yeah, but like God forbid this guy gets hit the wrong way, bro.
Yeah, they could definitely take Bateman there. Like I wouldn't hate the pick, but
yeah,
we'll give him Farley.
Ryan, who do you lean at 23?
Well, unfortunately, my plan A would have been Tevin Jenkins or Barrett Tucker. Even Darisaw, if he fell, like you'd be excited with that. You'd run to you just run the pick in, turn the pick in.
Or even the two edge guys.
I'm taking Newton here. I'm not even second guessing.
Yeah, that's what I gave you guys as well. I think you guys need it badly.
Yeah, we need a corner desperately. But I would if we needed to, I'd wait till round 2 if we could. Like if the offensive linemen are there, like that's who you take. That's who you prioritize. But he's actually my favorite. Like he's my number 1 or 2 corner in the draft. Like, I just love Greg Newsome. So if he's on the board, I'm gonna be excited.
You don't like a Creed Humphrey? Think it's too early for him?
Yeah, I mean, I would not be upset about that pick because then the Jets have like a long-term vision. Yeah. It's not like I don't care like about the sexy pick. I'm just taking Newsome here because like I feel like he's the best player on the board.
Yeah,
and it's a need for the Jets. But the Jets really can't piss me off very much unless they take like Najee Harris or like a running back in round 1 or like a kicker.
Like it's about to happen right now, like a Najee Harris right here.
I actually do think it's gonna happen.
I didn't think this whole time that Steelers were going to be like dumb enough to take a running back at pick 24 with all their needs, but everything coming out, I don't know if it's just like, the smoke that leads up to the draft, on draft week, but I've been seeing everywhere how much they love Najee Harris. And honestly, like and it makes sense to me too, because just, again, watching him play in Alabama, the kind of style runner he is, because he doesn't have that super speed, right? That like an ETN could have in hitting that second gear, but that's not the kind of like runner that Pittsburgh goes with. They love like the Le'Veon Bell type, like wait for your blocks to settle and a hole to open up there, be patient, and then shoot through it. And just watching, Alabama games, that's what he would do. He would wait for his blocks to develop and then break a tackle or two in the hole and go.
Look, I love Najee Harris, but at 24 is kind of a crazy pick.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. But
for what Pittsburgh need, but he is like the Pittsburgh style runner. Like
of course, big
pass catcher. So like he's just like a bigger version. Obviously, more like he's gonna have so many years left as a rookie, but like he's gonna be a better version of like what James Conner has been when healthy the last couple of years, and obviously a bigger bruiser. But so I get why they would do it. It just like from where they are right now, like we don't know about Ben being here or lasting the entire year. So I get why they're trying to make it easy on him, but like their offensive line, this is where I would invest in interior here. even if they had to take I would take Creed Humphrey here, even Dickerson's a little bit risky because of his injuries, but I wouldn't be mad at that pick either after losing or after pouncing.
Something along the offensive line, whether it was the tackle or interior. Yeah.
Jacksonville Jaguars. So obviously they got Trevor Lawrence first at 25. What do we think?
I think this is either Christian Barmore, Trayvon Moehrig, or a tackle.
Okay. I could agree with Barmore. I'm personally biased in this pick towards Zaven Collins just because I love Zaven Collins as a player, and this is the perfect system fit. You get Zaven Collins belongs in a 3-4 defense. That's where he would excel.
I love Zaven Collins too. I mean, the Jets are running a 4-3. I would take him too. And I would not worry about him.
It's not normal to be his size.
Don't they have a lot of linebackers down in Jacksonville?
A middle linebacker. No, they have outside linebackers like edge rushers, right? So they're good on that front, but they need a true middle of the defense. Some people say sideline and sideline, and it's not that he can't do it. It's just that this is why it's a 3-4 defense, and he's 6'4", 260. You don't see that in Mike linebackers. Yeah, that's just too rare for the position, and I love that.
Yeah, they like Miles Jack, and that's really it.
Yeah, I was saying Miles Jack kind of
long ass arms too.
Yeah, I like Zaven. You don't have to convince me about the player. Like Zaven Collins, because his draft class is super. The draft class is really good. It's super deep in certain positions. Zaven Collins is not he should be way higher than the 27th overall or 25th overall pick.
Yeah, I do. If I'm a quarterback playing the Jaguars and I have Josh Allen rushing at me from one side, even though I know you don't like Chase on,
he's just a talent though. It's only
year, so. And he's coming off the other edge, right? And then you have big ass Zaven Collins in the middle of the defense, and then you have to worry about the corners, right? So,
I think they would go wide receiver to help. I mean, not that they necessarily need it.
Not this early.
Yeah,
not this early.
All right, you don't really have to convince me. Do you think before we even, I don't know if we're going to mention him again, but do you think Jamin Davis ends up as a first round pick, or is that just a little bit of, leading up to the draft, a little bit of smoke?
So I actually have him in my latest mock draft that I did. I think it was 2 days ago. I had him going to Cleveland.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I see. I think there's a path, but I also think it's too rich to say that 4 linebackers are going in the first round.
Well, I didn't have Zaven Collins here. I had Barmore here, but
we don't even have. We should have mentioned Barmore at what pick are they?
Even 16.
17.
Yeah.
17. You could have convinced me as well.
Raiders love probably Alabama players too. Yeah, I could see that happening on draft day. So this is where you had him? That's the Browns?
Yeah, I had Jamin Davis here.
So I mean, look, I think
this is a Barmore fit.
They addressed the edge spot. I don't know. I like Cleveland's line as it is. I think they're really lacking a linebacker.
They could trade down here, honestly.
Who'd they sign in free agency? They brought somebody in at linebacker.
Yeah.
No, not Clowney. They brought somebody in.
They brought in
pull it up.
Who? The Rams safety, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I think I don't know.
Browns have done a good job. I don't even know if it's there's kind of a stacked roster. I
think Jamin Davis probably is the missing guy here.
I could see them maybe going wide receiver. They don't need it, but I think Rashad Higgins is on a 1-year deal. We're not sure about Beckham's long-term status. Wide receiver talent, they're definitely not going tight end. We know they have 100 of those, but
look, this could be linebacker. If I'm just picking at pick 26, I say I'd rather take best available player rather than the fourth linebacker on the board.
They could double down on edge too. I mean, Clowney, as much as I do like him, but the last 2 years have been kind of disappointing. Well, especially last year was really disappointing. Got injured once again. But
it's gonna be a lot easier for him now.
Sheldon Richardson was released, so
it's gonna be a lot easier for him now, though. Playing across from Myles Garrett.
Yeah, Myles Garrett, yeah.
It's gonna open up a lot of different,
And I just think it gets scary if you have now Barmore in the middle of them.
You could easily give me Barmore here. Best player, he's the best player on the board. So
best player at his position. You're getting him at pick 26.
They said they're going wide receiver with one of these picks. Do you think it's here or at 31? It's got to be at 31, right?
Honestly, this is hard because they need Azeez and they need a wide receiver like Bateman, and you don't know who's the other one's not going to be there. You're only going to get one of them.
I can promise you that the Saints aren't taking a wide receiver, and the Packers are definitely not taking a wide receiver.
And I don't think Buffalo's taking a wide receiver.
Yeah, so you can afford.
But then again, we're not like a team like the Jets, for example. We're not us, but like one of the early teams in the second round can definitely jump back in over Baltimore. But it doesn't take a lot to jump from.
I'd go edge then. I'd go Z's.
Definitely Z's.
Yeah, for me. I think he's just so much better than all the edge players.
I would give them Rousseau here. I know he's not like the better player, but I just think you can get more out of Rousseau.
The thing is, like, I agree. I would take Aziz, but like the Ravens do love that kind of pass rusher, like the interior, like
Zadarius.
I think
you let someone hit the A gap and pray.
Matthew Judon, even though he's not on the team, like those are the type of players that are like.
I mean, I hope they do that because then the Saints have a chance to take Aziz. Considering how the board fell, like I usually have more like. I have some of these players like falling, whether it's Greg Newsome, usually like by the time it comes to pick 28 for the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to put Rousseau, I'll be biased just so I can have Aziz.
We've been pretty clear about this. I don't think Rousseau, just based on like, I know he only had 1 year, so we didn't really get to see his second year, but like he was way overhyped to begin with. But I don't.
Very raw.
Yeah, I just don't know if you could take someone like him in round 1. But if there's any team, because they have 2 first-round picks and a great coaching staff, like a team that's going to actually turn Rousseau into the player he could be, it's like Baltimore Ravens or one of those teams.
Yeah.
So, Peter, your Saints are on the clock. Probably the board probably didn't fall favorably for you.
It did not. In this scenario, I know cornerback is like the most glaring need, but I really don't want to and I like Tyson Campbell, but I don't want to waste a first round pick right now I don't want to reach is my thing. I'd rather just go best available, and because that's what we did in 2017. We didn't really reach. We just took whoever was best there for us and for the team, right? And I want to keep that mindset rather than just filling need. So I would just go Aziz. Davenport at this point hasn't been what he should have been. He still has time to prove it. He could prove it this year, but having too many pass rushers is not ever going to be a problem in the NFL. Carl Granderson's supposed to, projected to break out this year for us. Mm-hmm. He showed some promise last year, but you take the short thing in Aziz falling that pick 28. And that way, if you need to move on from Davenport, because I'm not touching his 5th-year option, I'll let him walk. So that way you have your long-term answer at pass rush.
Yeah, and you lost I know he had a bunch of cleanup sacks.
Hendrickson.
Henderson had a good year last year.
So. And we don't know what's going on with Cam Jordan because last year was a disappointing year. He does not look like the same player.
He's a little bit older too, so.
Yeah, he's in the early 30s now.
So yeah, that makes sense.
How do you guys feel about Creed Humphrey here?
I definitely consider it.
You lose Corey Linsley.
I would like it. Yeah, they're not going to go wide receiver.
I think at this point, it just makes sense because you lost Corey Linsley.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I know you wouldn't take a wide receiver here. You personally?
I would, but Green Bay isn't.
I mean, they could because of last year. They definitely heard how pissed off some of the fans were, and then making the NFC Championship game. I think they're actually gonna. Could be
Humphrey.
No, look, I think they say, "Oh, look, we made it to the championship game. It's okay. We'll be fine."
Bateman falling to 29 is a steal. I don't know if they'd pull the trigger on that.
They don't.
All right.
It's just how Green Bay is, bro.
I feel like the Humphrey pick. I think he should go in the first round because I do think because Dickerson, you just can't trust healthy. If he stays healthy, a team will love him because he should have been a first round pick if he stayed healthy.
Yeah.
But considering the gap between Humphrey and really the rest of the interior, or for center wise especially, there's a huge gap. So. Plus, he just seems like a Packer, doesn't he? When you say Creed Humphrey, it just sounds like a Packer name. The Bills, they've been heavily linked to Etonine, right? Or ETN. Yeah. I don't know if that's happening.
He's the exact kind of running back that they need in that offense.
Yeah, they definitely need someone with speed. I'm sick of watching Singletary and.
Look, if there was somebody like Aziz still on the board, you could convince me. All right, take Aziz over the running back.
Yeah.
But in this case, any edge rusher they would take would be a huge reach. I understand you're at the end of the first round, so it doesn't you're allowed to reach when you're picking at pick 30, 31, 32. But think about why they lost. Pass rush, a better pass rush could help them, but your whole running game last year was your quarterback. And if you want to preserve your quarterback, your franchise quarterback, you're not going to have him do that. You need a solid option at running back, somebody who's fast, somebody amazing in the screen game, and it could just open up your offense even more. And let's again, Zach Moss, it's still too early to tell, and he could still be your power back, but Singletary's not working out to what he thought they should be.
Oh, Singletary
that way,
horrible.
You take ETN, and you don't have to worry about letting Singletary go or trading him.
All right. I mean, I didn't think 2 running backs were going to go in the first round, but like based on the Bills' interest, it does seem like it's possible. I mean, if Pittsburgh doesn't take Harris, do you think the Bills would still take ETN over Harris?
My thing is, I think that ETN is better than I think there's, I don't want to say a huge gap, but I think ETN's running back 1.
Okay.
I only have, I don't think Najee Harris should be a first round pick. But
3 of us have 3 different running back 1s.
I saw a report this morning.
Yeah, no, you have Harris, right, Markella?
I have Harris. Who do you have? You have Javonte Williams?
Yeah, Javonte Williams is RB1.
I saw a report today on Twitter that Javonte Williams might sneak into the first round.
Yeah, there's no way 3 running backs are going in the first round.
No shot. But
we're pushing it with 2. But like, the thing is, like, and this is especially true to like certain teams, right? Like, it's because ETN and Harris are so different players. Like, because ETN's all about speed. So like, I guess like my preference for certain running backs are going to be depending on the team. Like, if that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? Like ETN, I think would work for the Bills because they need someone with speed. But still, like, I think that Brandon Beane, if like the board didn't fall nicely for him, but I think that his first preference is going to be edge rusher. So even if he moves down out of the first round, I could see that too. If the board falls like this. So the Ravens are back in the clock.
And they got lucky.
You take Bateman and you run. And you run.
He's exactly what they need too. Like,
realistically, tomorrow night, I don't think Bateman's falling to 31.
No,
I don't know. I don't know who to get him. Maybe Tennessee, like, will get too scared of Farley and just go Bateman. Like, that's also a possibility. Just saying Rashad Bateman at the end of the first round, pick 31, that doesn't sound right to me. I think he'll go a few spots earlier.
This is more realistically probably going to be like a Terrence Marshall.
Yeah, but we didn't think like T. Higgins was going to fall out of the first round, or even Denzel Mims.
Yeah, that's true.
I do think Bateman, essentially, I thought he was going to fall out of round 1, but now that Baltimore got the Chiefs pick, I could definitely see.
And plus, we know what the run is going to be in the top of the second round. It's going to be the wide receivers. It's going to be the running backs. It's going to be the corners and safeties.
Usually the same every year. So,
yeah.
But this year, like Peter, I think mentioned it on a previous drafts, or maybe we weren't online, but like the round 2 depth this year and even into round 3 is like super exciting. Like at this point, like the top of the draft, super heavy, right? Once we start hitting like 26, I feel like all these caliber players are almost in the same like range, which is great.
Like if I'm one of these teams, even the Saints, I'd much rather trade out of the first round and pick twice on day 2.
So quickly before we finish the draft at 32, what did you guys think of the Orlando Brown trade for the Chiefs? I love it.
Oh my God, bro. I don't know, man. That was crazy. You're telling me there was no other team offering you more than 31?
I'm surprised the Bears didn't make a move.
And they swapped second. Like they only traded down like what, 30 spots?
That's what I'm saying. There's no one else that was like offering that. Like, come on. That's crazy.
How old is he? 24, 25?
Yeah, dude. He's like 25, and you just got a left tackle for the rest of your.
What the Chiefs did, like considering, because there was a point where they cut both their tackles, and everyone was scared, like, oh, what's going on with the Chiefs, right? Mahomes' contract, like what they did in one offseason, not even the draft yet, I want to say upgrade. Everyone they got is younger and better. Like Thuney, Kyle Long's older, but still to bring in a veteran like him. Who's coming back? Remember, he's like the nurse.
Rene Tardif.
Yeah, he was good. He was pretty good. Didn't play last year. He's coming back to the team. I don't know if he's playing center or what. One of those players is going to play center. And then to add Orlando Brown, which is like that's a big upgrade from Eric Fisher.
Dude, they did in 1 month what NFL teams tried doing in 10 years.
Yeah.
Like not for nothing. This is not a shot, but look at the Jets. This is one of the longest offensive line rebuilds
and the Giants
that I've seen in a while. Right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the Giants too. There are many teams in the NFL. Like they say they rebuilding the offensive line, and it takes them 6, 7, 8 years.
I mean,
the Chiefs did it in a month.
To be fair to the Jets, this is really only the second offseason. Everyone just kind of forgets Douglas.
No, I know. I'm not blaming Douglas.
In all fairness, though, dude, how hard is it to pitch to a free agent? Like, hey,
yeah, we have Patrick.
I'm blocked for the best quarterback in the league.
No, I know.
Probably going to win you a Super Bowl.
They didn't sit back and they made it priority. They got it done.
I get that, bro, but it's not hard to make it a priority when you're the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, you have a lot to offer.
I'm just glad like a team finally because it seems like when a team wins the Super Bowl, almost like they get complacent. We talk about this all the time. We're like, oh, they feel like good about themselves and like, oh, we just won the Super Bowl. And the Chiefs didn't win the Super Bowl last year, but like they recognized their flaws and they were like, we're not doing this again. Like we're going to try to maximize Mahomes' window. It just usually a lot of teams don't do that. They try to do it, but they fail miserably. But it seems like the Chiefs really like extended their window, especially with like the age of players they're bringing in. It's just like a really because who are you getting better at 31 than Orlando Brown? You're not. You're not getting a better tackle.
Absolutely, no one.
So
that wants to play left tackle on top of it.
Yeah. So, and he's a massive human being. Like he's actually like the moves they made actually helped Clyde Edwards-Helaire too. Even though I know he's not like he wasn't the greatest rookie last year. Like there was a couple games where he played really well. So it's actually going to help their run game as well.
I still think that was a bad pick.
So do I. Like in terms of all the running backs taken, I like Clyde though. I just don't think they should have taken a running back. But anyway, let's wrap it up. Tampa Bay Buccaneers just signed Antonio Brown back like 40 minutes ago. So they literally signed back every single valuable free agent they had, which is crazy. That's what happens when you have like Tom Brady. We just mentioned Mahomes, but when you got Brady too, everyone wants to come back and you make it happen. You figure out a way. So this is definitely another team that could trade down. There's really no need for them to. They could take a selection if they want it.
I think this might be wide receiver.
Because Brown's on a 1-year deal. And
Brown's on a 1-year deal. Godwin's on the tag.
They want someone though. They said they want somebody who's going to start and who's actually able to see the field. So if they don't trade back for a team who's like in the second round that wants to take like a Kellen Mond or something and just have the 5th year for the quarterback, if it's not that situation,
who would they even take? Because like their team is so like filled out.
Yeah. Usually I have better edge talent still here at this time, but we had all the edge players go.
I mean, they could take they don't really need a linebacker now with David back.
They could reach for an edge, or maybe get another
safety. Just like screw it.
Might as well. He's the best player available.
I know they have Winfield, right? But who else is playing safety?
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know, because like it's crazy. Like we're looking
at
their
roster's filled out.
Yeah, it's filled out. Like what Markel is saying could definitely happen. Like the wide receiver wouldn't be for this kind of year. Like I feel like they're high on Tyler Johnson too. Doesn't even play much.
That's what I'm saying. They are high on him.
Yeah.
And he barely sees the field as it is.
But I guess if they wanted to go like a playmaker, they could definitely take Tony and try to get like.
I wouldn't even say Tony. I would give him Elijah Moore.
Really, Moore right here?
Yeah, bro.
But wouldn't he like basically be the Chris Godwin replacement like just next year?
Well, that's the whole point. You think, all right, what if Godwin doesn't? We can't figure out a deal with him.
But my thing is, they've said that that's not the way they're approaching this. They're not thinking past this year. They want somebody who's going to be on the field this year and go back to back.
Could they go like offensive line here and just try to finish?
That's the only other thing you could tell me is if they go like a tackle.
I would think they try to finish the guards, like the right guard. I know he got hurt last year in the playoffs. I just don't know who you would take. Like, don't need.
I wouldn't take any guards this high.
I'm not taking it. Yeah, I mean, you could take Wyatt Davis here, and I'd be okay with it. But
my personal opinion, again, you guys could outvote me, but I think when you have a roster that is filled out, and just based on what they said they want their approach to be, they want somebody who's going to see the field. You're not going to have anybody who sees the field more than like a rotational edge presence, or even if it's a interior defensive lineman, just somebody on the defensive line, because that's the position that has
any of these players we're taking, like maybe this, like Levi.
Yeah, on Zarique, I could see that happening 100%.
You guys, I don't really like have a lot of thoughts.
My vote is going to be on the defensive line. I take on Zarique here, because of the edge presence. I don't think the edge players are as good as he is for his position.
Yeah, I mean, Sue's older, and he, like Todd Bowles plays a lot of his defensive linemen, like a lot more. Like I think Sue played like 70% of the snaps last year, which is
but that's what I'm saying. So if they're true to what they're saying and they want somebody to see the field, it would be a defensive lineman, and I think Onzarike is the best available defensive lineman on the board.
Yeah, I'm willing to do that.
That's me. You guys could outvote me and go wherever you want because they have no holes.
That's the issue.
All right. I think I put for 7 rounds, but that's my bad. We'll end it here, I guess. We'll just recap everything. So, is there any picks that you guys aren't like thrilled with, or
Michael
Parsons
at 11
outside of like the trade ups?
Yeah, that's really the only
11.
thing.
I like and last year I know there wasn't a lot of trade ups because of COVID, but this year like I feel like there's gonna be like only three or four. I don't think it's anything like crazy. Like you definitely get movement around like here, the end of the first round, of course, as we know. And I think we're all predicting there'll be a move like for a quarterback. There'll be some kind of move in the top like 7 to even 11 range. I know the Giants have been talking about trading down. I never believed it with Gettleman because he's just never done it. But Markello, how would you feel about like trading down possibly?
The way the board falls, honestly, dude, I wouldn't mind it.
Like if you got like say even you move back to like the we'll say the Bears, right? So like 11 to 20. If the Bears gave you a future first round pick
instantly.
Instantly.
Because they're gonna be bad. So, you know what I mean? Like you just look towards like the future. And even if they're not bad, if I get a pick like you guys got from Seattle, like 23, I'll take that. Good.
Yeah, I would take that too. All right.
I would definitely move out.
Thank you guys for joining us. I hope you guys enjoy the draft tomorrow.
Have a happy draft weekend.
Yeah.
The second round is honestly going to be a lot of fun to watch.
I think I'm going to miss the first couple hours of the second round.
Well, yeah, because we got to go to